Hello, my name's Adrian Trejo, and this is my critical assignment for the psychological aspects of performance injury. So, the population I chose for this assignment is a college football player. The reason I chose this was because as student athletes, we have to balance rigorous academics and demand with the intense physical training and competition. They dedicate countless hours to strength conditioning, tactical drills, precision sessions, and game preparation. And then not only that, they also have to tackle the balance of attending classes and performing at a high academic state as well as athletic state. The first theory that I like to talk about was the self-determination theory. This theory for me was one of the most influential to begin talking about because this theory is a psychological theory of motivation that can be a powerful framework for understanding and addressing recovery. And I feel that the mind is a very powerful tool. The purpose of adhering and kind of following this guideline and this theory is that the mind is a very powerful tool. And I believe that the mind can heal all and really get you to where you want to be. And according to research, this theory is very applicable across various domains, not including just college athletics within football and the population I chose, which was football in the collegiate level. And the injury I chose was the um, sprain of ankles. But I believe that this was very impactful because it can be used in all sorts of areas, not as well as just sports, but as well as everyday life. And I believe that by fostering this, it can help an individual be more intrinsically motivated and enjoy their common activities and achieve optimal performance. Um, Within the college aspect, um, the photo that I included was a picture of number 42, or not 42, 52, Ray Lewis. In the collegiate world, he was a very powerful and very motivating individual who used the tool of his mind. And when it came to injuries, he very proactively was one of the first football players to use this and really emphasize that the mind was a very powerful tool. The next one I want to talk about is cognitive behavior therapy. This is a therapy that can be highly effective, which is why I chose it. It helps athletes recover from injuries. It involves identifying and challenging negative thoughts and beliefs about the injury, as well as one of the main things within that theory is I'll never be the same, which is just the fact that a lot of athletes struggle with the idea that once they become injured, they will never be 100% of the person they used to be. Um, the reason I chose this image right here, this is Aaron Rodgers, a very dominant quarterback within the position. He was a very um, powerful person for this because in college he was one of the leading quarterbacks, kind of an underdog, and he's been going through very strong injuries throughout his career. And his biggest thing was if I believe that I can be the same person, if I work hard enough, I can and I will. So he was one of the first to really use this theory where he never thought that he would never be the same. He knew that he was just going to get bigger and better. The next theory and therapy that I chose was the acceptance and commitment. This was very mindful based therapy that can be effective for athletes recovering from injuries. It focuses on accepting the present moment and including the pain and discomfort associated with the injury, while also committing to goals and actions to recovery. For example, the image that I chose was number 10, Robert Griffin III. a very dominant collegiate athlete, and he tore his ACL and destroyed his ankle, which is one of the injuries I talked about. Really focused on was messing up his ankle. Um, this image was from when he destroyed his ankle, and it became very abundant and clear that he wouldn't be able to continue. But it wasn't that he was very sad or doubtful from that get go. He was actually what this theory talks about. And when he got injured, he knew that he understood that he got injured. He committed to immediately going to get surgery and began his recovery process immediately. It was already accepting what happened and committing to how to become better and recovering from it. Some factors when it comes to recovery that a lot of athletes deal with is body dysmorphia. Being that long away from being even able to physically hit any sort of workout or keep yourself in top tip shape is very hard. So they become, you know, a little bit obese and overweight, or they become too skinny and lose muscle mass. Um, I believe that this is very hard on athletes. Um, and for this image, I chose um, the collegiate player Ezekiel Elliott because out of college, he was the most dominant running back to be from that year. And over the summer before even going pro, he was injured and became very obese, and it became very hard for him to recover from that injury. And it rarely showed the transition from college when he was in shape and healthy to becoming injured, not being able to work out, and becoming obese for his position. And it really affected his ability to perform on the field. The next one is insomnia. Um, when it comes to this is a sleeping disorder, and it's really hard on athletes because the demanding of the physical and mental strain of the sport, you need your sleep. Being sleep deprived can impair your cognitive functions and your reactive time and decision making, and as well as your attention span. A lot of athletes, especially in college, have a hard time sleeping and they develop insomnia because not only do you have to dedicate hours throughout the day to train, practice, eat right, but you also have to study, go to class, do homework. So they develop a bad habit of not doing enough sleeping throughout their week to where by the time it's game time, they struggle to perform because they haven't been well rested and well rounded off. My mission statement for this was that the mind is a powerful tool. The reason I chose this is because nothing is truly more powerful than the mind. No matter what athlete you talk about, there's one key difference between successful athletes and unsuccessful athletes. The successful athletes that go on to become Hall of Famers, the greatest to ever do it, all have that killer instinct, that mentality that no matter what happens, I'm going to recover. I'm going to do better. I can keep getting better. And the athletes that end up just peaking before they even get good believe that they aren't good and their mentality is just awful. And I've been that kind of athlete before where I didn't think I'd make it to the collegiate level, but I had to show myself that mentally I am there and I can become that kind of athlete. And another thing is when it comes to the sport, I've learned that it's 90% mental. If you believe that you can do and achieve what you set your goal and your mind to, you will achieve it. And it's 10% skill. You may be the greatest, like physically and skillfully, but if you're not mentally there, you will not perform to the degree that you need to. And what I've learned throughout this course is I gained knowledge and skill to empower athletes to achieve greatness. And I've uncovered hidden aspects of the sport that can unlock an athlete's true potential. potential. And by that, I mean different theories and ways to speak to athletes and help them recover because it's not if you get injured, it's when you get injured. You have to prepare that you're going to get injured. It's bound to happen. No matter what sport you play, you will get injured. And learning these ways to recover and help athletes recover from that is one of the biggest things I learned from this course. And then this is my reference page. And then thank you for listening to my presentation.